All right, so this is not a market update, but at the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly what's going on with the Winston-Salem and surrounding area real estate market, and you're gonna know it's in real time. These are all transactions I have going on right now. The July numbers are in, and we're gonna go over some of them, but it's similar trajectory and seasonality of what we've been experiencing. So I'm just gonna touch on a few of that. What I really want to do is go over some transactions that are happening right now in real time so you can get a good feel whether you're a buyer or a seller of what's going on right now so you can make a good decision for you and your family. Right now I have 7 properties under contract in all different price ranges and different areas, and we're gonna run through a few of them. Actually, one of them is a house that I'm buying for myself, so I wanna talk a little bit about adjustments that I had to make in that process and why I ended up with the house that I did. One interesting note on the market numbers for July. While we saw sales drop dramatically, especially from last year, which we've been experiencing all year, much fewer sales, we did see the average sales price in Winston-Salem and the surrounding areas go up slightly again. That tells me that when you combine that with the number of showings still being down on average per listing at about 7.5, they're not getting as many showings as they used to. That tells me 2 things. Buyers are being more choosy, as we've discussed, which is a good thing. They're not just offering on any old thing, but 2, they're willing to pay a premium for the right house in the right location. I'm Jeff Valentino. I love helping people buy and sell real estate. If that's you, my contact information is below, but we're gonna start right off with a listing in Winston-Salem at the $250,000 price point and under. I represent the seller in this listing, and I will tell you anytime that a house is move-in ready, has been well taken care of, and in good condition, it's gonna get some attention, especially if it's under the average price point. And if it's under $250,000 in that more affordable price range, it's gonna get a lot of attention. Now, of course, we did a good job of marketing the property. We had a listing launch plan. We did a lot of digital marketing for this house, but in the first 2.5 days, we had about 19 showings, and the seller received multiple offers. And I will tell you, because a lot of these offers are going to be similar. They're going to be close in price. They're going to be close in due diligence and closing time and different things like that. So I will tell you that this seller really took into account, as he's looking at all these individual offers, all of the little details. How long are they asking for due diligence? How much due diligence fee are they offering? And everything else down the line so he can make a good decision. So again, just to say, the details in all these transactions matter, especially in a competitive market. And this price point under $250,000 for a nice move-in ready house, all the details are really important, and that's whether you're buying or selling. Next is the Ardmore neighborhood, priced around $300,000. Now I will tell you the average sales price in Ardmore is about $350,000. So anytime you have something under that average price point, of course it's going to get a lot of action in one of Winston-Salem's most popular neighborhoods. Right now, when I'm filming this, there are only 3 houses in the entire neighborhood of Ardmore that are $350,000 or less. One of those has been on the market for 100 and some odd days. So obviously something is not right with that house, or it would have gotten purchased. So really just 2 listings under $350,000 in Ardmore right now. I represent the buyer on this one, and it's a similar story. It had a bunch of showings on it, scheduled on it right away. The buyer made a really good offer. We got it accepted. I'm excited for them. They got a really great house in Ardmore. Next one is Mount Tabor neighborhood in Winston-Salem at around the $400,000 price point. Now Mount Tabor, if you're not familiar with it, a very popular, desirable neighborhood as well. This is going to have a little bit more of a suburban feel. Not as much that city neighborhood like Ardmore and West End would have, but it's going to have more of a suburban feel, like something like Sherwood Forest or something like that. It's in a good location that makes it easy to get to a lot of different areas in Winston-Salem. So when you combine that with parks, the trails that are around there, shopping that's nearby and things like that, it just makes it a really desirable neighborhood. And on this one, I represented the buyer. We did have to use some advanced tactics to get this house under contract. And I can't tell you all of them, 1, because it's not closed yet, and 2, I saved some of the best stuff for my actual clients, and I'm not bragging or anything like that here, but I am kind of applying for a job. But we were able to get this house under contract. It's a great house and a great quiet location, just what the buyer was looking for. And I'm excited for her to close on this property. Next one is Louisville in the $550,000 price range. And this is actually the house that I'm buying. If you've watched a couple of those videos, you know that I started looking, I started talking about it at the end of 2022 that I was gonna start looking for a house. I did kind of off and on, got busy with work, had to put it off for a little while, couldn't find anything. And then I made 2 offers on houses. And this is why I wanted to talk about this one. I made 2 offers on houses that I didn't get. One was in a multiple offer situation. I love the house. I really wanted it. I missed it. I was upset, the whole 9 yards. Just like what other people would expect if they make an offer on a house that they love and don't get it. I experienced that firsthand. And to kind of put salt in the wound, when I saw that it did close and I saw what the price it closed at, I was like, I probably would have paid that. I probably would have offered that if I could have. I thought I was putting my best foot forward. I was just a little bit off, but I didn't get that one, and kind of is what it is. I'm over it mostly. And then there was a second house I made an offer on. I could do a really long video on how poorly this house was marketed. It was in a great neighborhood, but the house needed quite a bit of work at that price point. I thought it was really, really overpriced. I made an offer on it. The seller did not like the offer. I didn't even get a counter offer, which I was surprised because it had been on the market for a little while. And actually, I saw the house did get under contract about 2 weeks later, and then came right back on the market during the due diligence phase. And as I'm recording this right now, it is still on the market, not sold. And I'll chalk that one up too. Glad I didn't get it. Glad I made an aggressive offer because the house was just way overpriced. So what I did end up doing is I ended up buying a new construction house in Louisville. And that was a big change for me because I originally had no intention of buying new construction. If you've watched the new construction pros and cons video, you know that there are some things that are good about new construction and some things that are not, right? Some of the cons, it's gonna cost more money than you think. You gotta buy all these little things, extra landscaping, blinds, this, that, on and on and on. So the little expenses on new construction can add up. But it was a good semi-custom builder that was building this. It was not a crazy multiple offer situation. I got to get in there, made an offer on the house, and the builder has some ability to let me choose some finishes and countertops and things like that. So I went ahead and got under contract. I'm looking forward to closing on that house. But the moral of that story is I had no intention of buying new construction. I actually kind of wanted to stay away from it for some of those reasons. As I looked around and I just, we're in this lack of inventory market, and I see houses that I can see they're gonna need $20,000, $30,000, or they haven't been updated in so many years, or it's about to need a new roof. And I'm just making all those calculations just like you have to when you're considering these properties. I missed on a couple houses that I wanted, and I'm going through the same process as you, which has been really good to do as an individual versus just an agent again. It gives me really good perspective firsthand. Again, now I've seen it from both sides, agent and consumer personally, so I can really relate to what people are going through. So I made some adjustments. Didn't get the exact neighborhood I want, but I'm excited about the neighborhood that it's in. And I'm actually now excited that I'm gonna have a brand new house versus one I'm gonna have to do this, this, and this to. Now the trade-offs again were, I'm gonna have to buy blinds, I'm gonna have to do landscaping, the deck is not quite what I want, on and on, all those different things like that. That's fine, there is no perfect house. But sometimes the situation is what you make of it. I did the most important things, and that is don't absolutely max out your budget. But if you like the house, if you can afford the house, if the payments aren't gonna hurt you, if you can afford it now at today's rates, right? Go ahead, get the house. There is not a perfect one. If rates come down, you can refinance. If they don't, you can afford the payment that you have. That's the most important thing to keep yourself out of trouble. Try not to max out your budget and make sure you can afford it right now if rates don't change, if prices don't drop, all these things that do or might not happen that we actually can't see in a crystal ball. If you can afford that house right now, you like the house, you can make the changes that you want to it, right? If it's not something that you can't change, meaning it's in a bad location or things like that, then get the house, make the changes you want, and make it into a home. If you're selling, market your property correctly, price it correctly, and you should have people looking to buy it. The market still really favors sellers right now. We're under 2 months of inventory still in Winston-Salem. There are under 500 sales active in all of Forsyth County right now. That should heavily favor sellers. If you see a house on the market that's been on there for a long time, that's a spot for a deal. That's a sign the seller overpriced it or there's something wrong that's not obvious in the pictures why other people are passing on it. If you're looking to buy or sell in Winston-Salem or anywhere in the surrounding area, I'd love to be a resource for you. You can email me directly at jeff@govalentino.com. Thanks.